Hey everybody, my name is Jen and this is Jen Geigley Knits. Welcome, I hope you're doing okay, I hope you're hanging in there. I am going to jump right in today and I'm going to start knitting my scrappy sweater that I've been collecting all these different yarns for. And I'm going to make one of those scrappy sweaters by Lærke Bagger. I have extensively poured through my collection of her books the past few days, trying to pick one of her patterns because she has several patterns that are kind of like the sweater I want to make. They are all bottom up, so I've been looking at that too, but I am going to make one like totally with her instructions. As a knitwear designer, I kind of like to go off and like sometimes do my own, like either one of my designs and modify it or like the way I would do it. But I love learning from other knitters, especially like someone like her that's so artistic and inventive, and I know she has good techniques in here that are different than what I've tried, and so I want to learn from her in that way. So the sweater I have decided to make is called the Inner Child sweater. It's kind of, this is like one example of one of them. It works the best with the yarns that I've collected, which I kind of went through last time. I have some super weird old mohair type yarns, scraps and leftovers, Noro. I have eyelash and like fuzzy yarns too. And then I'm going to mix in a neutral just to kind of ground things a little bit because a lot of it, I don't have all of it out here right now, but a lot of it's super bright. And so I'm going to kind of weave in a little neutral here and there throughout. And so I just kind of raided everything downstairs and found even more yarns than I had last week. I kind of dumped out a bag of things I've been collecting. And then I wound up a skein of this natural yarn from Wing and a Prayer that I thought would be like the perfect base to kind of, you know, blend throughout. But yeah, she has a bunch of different sweaters in this style in these books. And I want to make them all now that I've kind of dove into the patterns and the pages and the stories and all the things that are in the books. And now I see what makes each of them different. There's one that's like almost all neutral with just little bits of things that are held together and little lines and stripes of the different contrast yarns. That one I love, and I want to do that one too. There's one where you kind of take like a bunch of your leftovers, like 3 strands of sock yarn and fingering and like your old shawl leftovers, and you make a whole ball of these 3 yarns held together, and it mixes and changes as you go. I want to make that one. There's just a lot of really cool, artistic, creative sweaters that, you know, and you don't have to follow any rules. It's just like she's giving you ideas of how to make it different. And I love that so much. So this sweater, like I said, starts from the bottom up. So I'm going to start with this as the bottom ribbing. Something I really like that she suggests is you're going to make the rib, all the ribbed sections held double with a worsted plain yarn, and it makes like a sturdier collar and a sturdier rib because all the rest of this might be kind of loosey-goosey in the middle. Like all kinds, like you saw hers is kind of like she intentionally puts holes in it and all kinds of things. And so it's a little bit unpredictable, and I want it to be, I don't know, with that substantial border, and then just whatever happens in the middle is what's happening. And I'm really excited to dive in and just start. I'm going to do little intarsia sections, kind of like almost like, you know, when you go halfway and switch. And in the round, it's a little tricky because you have to come back. There is a way to purl back in the round and just keep going like that. Or you can knit across, cut your tail, keep going, cut your tail. There's a way. There's so I'm going to experiment with that and just have fun with it and use up a bunch of little leftover scraps. I have so much Noro that I think this will be perfect for this sweater. And then this super fun mohair, like this vintage one that I got from that yard sale. I want to do like this, starting with this and this. I feel like the neutral has to be a little bit at the bottom and come up, and then in the middle and come up, and at the top and come up. I feel like it has to be, see, I'm already like controlling this too much when it should be very free form, but it's okay because she kind of talks about that in there too. Like she's like, you'll try it on, you'll take it off, you'll think about it, you'll keep going. It's just part of the, you know, artistic process. So I'm going to have a little like sit and knit day. You can come hang out with me while I start this sweater, and hopefully I can finish it by the end of the month when I go to Vogue Knitting Live. I leave on the 29th of January, so that's like less than a week away. Oh my gosh. But yeah, let's start this little sweater experiment and just have some fun with it. This is like all my brain can handle right now. I just think I want freeform, fun knitting. I've kind of abandoned some of my whips just temporarily. And so that's what I feel like working on this week. And that's what I'm inspired to work on. And so come hang out with me on the couch and let's see where this project takes us. Also, you may or may not have noticed, but for the first time today, I'm using a microphone. This is long overdue and I'm so sorry. And I hope the audio is way better. And I hope it's like a big improvement. I've actually had this for a while and didn't really know. Like, I don't know. I'm Gen X and it takes me a minute to like try new things. Sometimes I resist and don't want to do it. And I don't always want to clip something on my sweaters. It's really not a big deal. I know people do it all the time. But I was like, I don't know about this mic, but now I'm giving it a try on my flannel. I'm also today wearing my Flock Together shirt I got it from Utopia at Rhinebeck. The news is still very real and very awful. And I'm not going to dwell on it the whole episode, but it is on my mind and it is horrific to check the news every morning. And if you live in a different country and you're watching this, please know that there are so many of us, like the majority of Americans, do not want to invade Greenland. We don't want to have anything to do with this. We didn't want to do anything in Venezuela. We don't agree with what our president is doing. We didn't vote for him. We don't want this. We're trying to fight it and stop it. But for some reason, he's able to do these things and we don't know why. I feel he should be impeached and removed from the government. I don't know how this is all going to happen, but something's got to happen. And just please know, I know we look crazy, and just please know that so many of us don't agree with this and don't want this and are horrified reading the news each morning. I can't even believe what's happening. I can't believe what's happening in our own cities and states. In Minneapolis, which is just like my neighbor to the north. Like, I go to Minneapolis all the time. I'm a few hours south. I was born in Minnesota. Like, it is in my backyard, I feel. I can't believe what's still happening there. And yeah, they're going after immigrants and US citizens, and it's all illegal and shady, and there's nobody checking on nobody knows where anyone is. It's people taking parents away from children, and it's a disaster. It is so bad. And if you are one of those people that says, I'm trying not to watch the news, or I don't really know what's going on, it's time to probably check in and check your news and check your news sources. It could be in your city next. I'm not trying to be all fear-mongering, but it is really scary what's happening. Our government it's like our national government and our state government and our police and our military now. I just can't even believe what's happening. And so anyway, it's on my mind. I'm not pretending it's not, and I'm not going to avoid it. But it's really tough. I'm thinking of you, especially Minneapolis friends. I don't know how you're getting through it. I'm sure it's so exhausting, but also it's so amazing to see how your city has pulled together and worked together to organize and help and fill school gymnasiums full of food and supplies that you are distributing to people who can't leave their homes. I mean, it's unreal what's happening, but I don't know. I wish everyone well. I hope you're hanging in there. I hope you're doing okay. And I'm going to put 2 links below. If you don't live in Minnesota and you want to help, there's like the Stand with Minnesota link that you can help donate. And there's also a GoFundMe that I got from my friend Kristen, who lives in Minneapolis. She's a teacher there. Just listening to her story made me tear up earlier this week. And so help if you can. It's like the one thing we can do from afar. So thank you for listening to that. And with that, I guess I'm going to start knitting. I did a little gauge swatching, but she even mentions in the book, it kind of doesn't matter because you're using like mohair and different weights of yarn and holding all these things together. And then, switching back and forth even within the same row. But the thing I like that she suggests is that for most of her sample, because I've been looking at all her example sweaters too, she starts bottom up with the ribbing with a worsted weight yarn held double, which gives it a little bit of stability and weight. And I really like that. Like even I might do this in the future if I don't want to have a collar that I fold under and sew, which I really, really like because it gives it some stability, but this does too. And it's nice to have a stable edge on the neck and the hem and your cuffs that's like holding it together, because the rest of this, you know, could be a whole experiment in the middle. So anyway, I'm going to go cast on my bottom hem. I am going up a needle size from what she suggested, and I'm kind of, usually I'm a loose knitter, and usually this is not my problem, but for some reason, maybe I'm stressed and knitting tighter than usual. I don't know what it is, but I am going to go up a needle size for the ribbing and the body and see how that ends up. I don't want the sweater to be small. I'd rather have it be kind of comfy and bigger and then wear a layer underneath, because some of it will be a little bit lighter, especially like the mohair sections. And so I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go get started finally. Come with me and let's knit today, and then I'll check in throughout the week and see how far I get on this sweater. And oh my gosh, I hope my mic is not like doing anything weird, because I don't know how it works yet and I haven't tested it yet. And so I hope it's working, right? Okay, I'm sure it's fine. Also, as a graphic designer, it feels really nice to knit out of a book. I love books and magazines and like actual publications, and being disconnected from my laptop and my phone and just knitting out of a book is kind of the best. Also, I want to show you more examples of this sweater because I don't feel like you're getting the essence of what we're doing here. There is this example. She does dresses too. This one. It's incredible. Look at this. I love the dresses. Just this whole book makes me want to knit a billion things, and we'll see how I feel after this sweater, but I could see myself going on a little tour of these books and making like one of each kind of her sweaters with all my leftovers. But yeah, look at these bags. They're just so much fun. Okay, I did my whole ribbing in this color, but then I changed my mind and I wonder if I should do it in this color. So I think I'm changing my mind and casting on in this color. Okay, I feel like I'm on the right track now with this new cast on. I do have to like try it on and make sure it fits around me because I didn't swatch with this, but this was the Lion brand held double and it was a worsted, and I didn't like how it looked or felt. So I switched to Magpie Bulky in my favorite color, Strange Brew, which just makes me happy. I want to use this, and I'm not holding it double, and I still feel like it has that substantial feeling. Like the job it needs to do is to be like strong. And I love how it looks, I love how it feels, and this is my favorite color, so this is the clear winner. So I'm being reminded of how much I love Noro. Look how fun this is already, and I'm just getting started. I love the color changes. It is so much fun to knit with, and I haven't used it in a while, and I'm loving it. Just look at that. And then I'm working in the natural from Wing and a Prayer, and I'm sort of like every time I come back around, I knit a couple more into it so it kind of staggers the row so it isn't so perfect. And that's the one thing I kind of have trouble because I'm trying, like, I'm not trying to make it perfect, but I'm sort of, you know, controlling what's happening. And she encourages you to make intentional holes in your rows, like randomly, but like I think she's knitting two together and doing a yarn over to make some holes on purpose, which is like, I don't know if I can do it, but it does look really good, especially when she's using black yarn. So I might try it at some point, but right now I'm just having fun with this. So here's my markers, like here's my beginning of round marker and then my side marker. So this is kind of the front where it's sort of split in the middle right now. And then the next one, I'll kind of bring it together with whatever yarn I use next. And it might be this fun mohair plus something else, and I'm not sure yet. But so far, this has been really fun. And I just have to decide what to do next. Okay, this is all I want to work on now. It is so much fun. It's kind of blending together right now, but I have a lot of color stops and starts. I'm not even going to show you, a lot of tails inside, but that is okay. That is how it's meant to be. This is maybe the most fun project I've ever made. I really don't want to do anything else. I've had to work today and I don't want to put it down. And so, you know, something's fun when that's the case. And yeah, I am basically just going back and forth. If I have to, I cut a tail and I move on and I come back to it and I add yarn and I just keep going until I have these little weird sections. This is this mohair. It looks like this and it turns out like this, which has been really fun. The Noro, my natural, I've got a lot of little things going on. I added in the blue Jiffy over here and a little stripe of pink with the dark. And it is so much fun. And so, yeah, right now, with how I'm dealing with all the ends, I'm doing exactly what she says, which is to just tie knots. Okay, it is day 2 of working on my scrappy sweater, and I'm just gonna say it right now, this is probably the coolest thing I've ever made, and it's not even done yet. I cast on yesterday. I got so much done yesterday and last night because I could not stop because I am obsessed with this project. It is so much fun. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm constantly thinking about what color I'm going to do next, what yarn I want to do next. And like I woke up in the middle of the night and wanted to work on it, which is really bad because I already have insomnia, and this is like an insomnia like breaker. Like I will get up and work on this in the middle of the night if someone doesn't stop me. And so let me just show you where we're at since yesterday. You're not going to believe. This is one of the sides. I also am going to have a hard time choosing what is going to be the front. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at what I'm doing here. It is like painting with yarn. I have never had more fun choosing yarns and colors and textures and going through my stash and finding the weirdest stuff I can find. It's not even that weird, but when you combine it, it just becomes this beautiful like landscape painting of a sweater. It is going so fast. I'm probably a couple inches off from finishing the body. And so this is obviously bottom up, and which has its own set of challenges because you don't always know when to stop. But I tried this little tube on earlier, you know, like a little tube top, just to see where I was. And I think I want like an inch or two more until I start the sleeves. And then I'm going to knit the sleeves. And then it's the kind of sweater where you join like at the underarm, stick the sleeves on, and then go up. And that's when I'm going to have to decide where my front and back is. I don't know yet because it doesn't really matter. I did a really good job on my ribbing, so you can't tell really where I stopped and started. And so I'm just going to let myself pick at the end where my favorite part of it. It's going to be hard because I don't want to like, whatever. I love this hilarious mint fluffy section. It is Okay, this is the yarn I found yesterday as I was going through because I was like, I have more stuff. I knew it. I just had to go look around. Look at this. It's not even eyelash. It's more fur. It is incredibly soft and slippery. I think it's Ice Yarns, you know that brand? They have some really good novelty yarns if you ever need something like this, but this is the most fun. It is like feathers. It is so fluffy and hilarious. I had to do it. Just a little stripe of it. This is like 3 rows. And then I'm also going to have more fun with the sleeves too, because I was looking at her inspiration photos and she just does like full rounds of a lot of fluff and sparkle and weird stuff. And so I'm going to definitely do that when I get to the sleeves. But just every little pop of color is so much fun. This is just 2 rows of that pink stuck in there. And then this looks like a sunset or something. The Noro is the star player of this sweater because look at this little purpley section that just, you know, transitions on its own. And I made it into kind of a triangle. And then this is doing that too over here. And it's just, and then I did like a little section of mohair where I held this really skinny mohair triple and just did a couple tiny little stitches right here. And I mean, I don't even know. It's just, it's like a surprise as you're working on it. You never know I don't know, like what's going to happen next. I'm not planning ahead. I'm just grabbing whatever looks good with the color that's sitting under it. And then this neutral, which is my wing and a prayer, is kind of holding it all together and sort of giving it a little balance, I think. So I really like using that neutral throughout, just in little places here and there. This dark color too is doing the same thing. And I was thinking, I mean, I just grabbed, this is a leftover little ball of something from a sweater, and it's that perfect navy black that I love. So I've got that throughout. And I think it's actually my Sawkill leftovers. I was thinking it might have been my Modern Daily Knitting Atlas because I have a lot of yarn in this color that I collect because I love it because it's not really, I mean, it looks like navy right now, but sometimes it looks black and sometimes it looks navy. I think this is that indigo black from Sawkill, which is so funny. I think this is leftovers from my Gib sweater, but that too is tying things together and adding a little bit of contrast, I think. And so this is where I'm at on the beginning of day 2. I was thinking, because right now it is, let's see, January 21st, and I leave in exactly 1 week for Vogue Knitting Live, and I want to wear this to New York. Obviously, that is why I'm knitting this. And so I was going to break it down. Like sometimes I do this when I have a sweater deadline, and I was going to like reverse engineer or not, like whatever, like figure out how many days I have to do a sleeve and all that. But I don't even think I'm going to need to do that because I think it's going to be done by this weekend the way I'm going. Like I cannot stop. So today I would like to get started on a sleeve or 2, not out of reach, I don't think, and then get it all connected. I'm not saying I'm going to have this done by the end of this week's video because that might be too much. And I'm teaching some classes this weekend and I have some stuff going on. So, and I'm working, like I work from home also. I know it always looks like I'm just sitting here knitting all day and that's all I do, but I do graphic design freelance at home and I have like a real job. And so I'm working that in between, you know, a couple rows here and there. But I'm confident I'm going to get this done really soon and definitely in time for my trip because I'm just so obsessed with it and I cannot stop working on it. So it's been really, really good. I don't know, not a good distraction, but a good place to put my energy, I think. And it's not quick because of the needle size. And sometimes these color changes do slow you down a little bit. And I am tying a bazillion knots on the inside of this that I will deal with later. I was going to just tie knots and cut everything real short, but I've run into trouble with that before. And I might, I mean, as much as it's going to suck, I might go back at the end and weave in some ends and do it the right way because sometimes you need to fill in a little gap, especially where I'm chain. I'm like doing weird, you know, intarsia type joint, not joins, but yeah, like kind of where it meets, I'll wrap in the back and knot it, but it's not perfect in every spot. And so I don't want anything to fall apart is what I'm trying to say. And sometimes if you leave too short of tails, you can't tie that knot and fix it. So I'm going to leave my tails long, try to weave in some ends where I can, and especially like this yarn that is slippery and weird, I'm going to really have to make sure this doesn't all like slide out somehow. This one's kind of like that too. It's like a fluffy, weird, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like feathery kind of. And yeah, the mixture of fibers and things I'm working with. This too, this has been so much fun. This is this funny mohair that I got at that yard sale for $1, and it has a real mix of colors in there. It's really, really funny, and like, I don't know, it looks, you know, more purpley over here, and then over here it's more green and yellow. It's all super fun. I can't wait to like wear this and see what it looks like on. It looks really small, like as I'm holding it here, but everything really stretches, and I'm knitting on US 11 needles for the body. And so it's kind of a loose, you can tell, a looser gauge, and I'm using a very big mix of weights of yarns, like tiny, tiny mohair, feathery, who knows what. And then I've got my Noro, which, oh my gosh, this is the star of the show. Just your random Noro leftovers. I have a bunch of these little balls, and I'm just using random parts of them all over the place. This bright one is Noro Tayo, which they don't make anymore. And that was like the one skein I had held on to for years because I didn't want to waste it. And I had one skein, so I wasn't sure what to make with it. And so this is where it's really shining, and it's really fun to play with it and just use it and put it in this crazy sweater. This is the time. And then this purpley one. Oh, Noro is fun. So anyway, that is where I'm at. I'm going to go keep going and stop talking and just keep knitting and see how far I can get today. We are officially on day 3 of the stripy, scrappy sweater from the Lærke Bagger books, and it is going swimmingly. I am so happy with the progress I've made. It's like I can't put it down still. It's too much fun. And yes, I've worn a black sweatshirt, I think, every day this week. It's just like the number one thing in my closet. It is cold. Like tomorrow, we think maybe schools will be shut down and everything because our wind chill is going to be 30 to 40 below 0 Fahrenheit. We can't even comprehend. And the big ice storm and everything is hitting everywhere else. But we have like the cold air, like the extra cold air. And so I've just been wearing a black sweatshirt every day, which fits my mood and the news, which continues to be horrible, and just horrible stories out of Minneapolis, even from my friends, things they're seeing on their street and in their neighborhood, and when they go out to do errands. I cannot believe, and I'm so sorry. Stay strong. I am thinking of all of you. I don't know how ICE is getting away with all of this without any consequences. I don't know how no one's shutting it down. And so, yeah, I don't even know what to say. I don't know. It's on my mind as it has been the past couple of weeks, and I can't stop thinking about it, but I am continuing to knit, and here's where I'm at on this sweater. I'm not going to be able to finish it this week. I would really like to. I'm very close, but I'm not going to be able to finish it by the end of this video, just so I don't get your hopes up. But I will share the finished project next week. It is very close, though. I have a lot to show you. So yeah, next week I'll be packing for Vogue Knitting Live in New York City. Let me know in the comments if you want me to share a little bit about what I pack, especially for a winter trip in New York, because it is a whole different thing. You have to stay warm. Your body is your vehicle. Getting around the city, you have to be outside. And so if you want to know kind of how I pack, I'm happy to share. And if you don't want to know, that's okay too. But here is where I'm at with my sweater. I have one little baby sleeve started and one whole sleeve completed. And remember, this is bottom up. And so I'm doing the sleeves separately that I'm going to attach now, like really soon, to the body, which is here, which you've already seen, but it is beautiful. So I'll share again. And yes, I still have to pick which side will be like where the sleeves are going to go and what is going to be the front and back. And I cannot wait to see this all come together. I cannot wait. And then you do raglan decreases up to the neck, and then the neck ribbing will match, obviously, this green ribbing that I love so much. But this is really coming together quickly. I can't tell you how much fun it's been to work on this and just kind of do whatever I want. And again, this is called the Inner Child Sweater from one of her books. I don't even remember which. I've been looking at all the books, and this kind of is actually a combination of all the, like I'm taking bits of things from all the books and the patterns and just kind of winging it, because really this is so free form and artistic that you can't do it wrong. And I'm just basically using her formula to get there. But yeah, I think it won't be too long and I'll be ready to do the joining. That's where I'm at. It is super fun and exciting. I did raid my stash a little bit more to find some neon yellow and some other things to throw in there, because I felt like I was starting to repeat things too much, but it doesn't look that way. When you're looking at it, it doesn't look like but it's very scrappy and fun, and I'm not trying to overthink the color combinations because it's more fun, I think, if you don't. And so I'm really trying to go with the flow, and I think it's turning out so extremely cool, and I cannot wait to wear this. So I know a lot of people are turned off by bottom-up sweaters, and I understand why, because I love knitting something top down and you get to try it on along the way, but you can also try on bottom up along the way. It's just a little bit different. But I also sometimes just hold up these pieces to an existing sweatshirt or sweater that I've already knit, so you can kind of see if the proportions are correct, if the length is correct, or where you want things to end and stop, especially like a sleeve. I really don't want this to be too short. I want this to go all the way to my underarm with like a little extra, because I like it. This kind of, I think, would be loose and slouchy and like fun to have a little bit of extra like bunchiness. I don't mind that. And so I really want to make sure I had enough on this. And then when I do attach everything together at the underarms, I am going to try it on very carefully with barber cord. Like, just in case you're wondering how people do this, if you've been shying away from sweaters like this, there is a way to do it. So I will try on my little tube, you know, just like this. And then I will I'll do it with like a t-shirt on, so not a sweatshirt, but I will put my tube on and make sure everything kind of hits where it should, and make sure that the length is good and that it's hitting my underarm at a pretty decent area. And then I will put the sleeves on, you know, all the way up, and see that it's all meeting in the right place before I get too far into this, because it is a pain to go backwards, especially after you join it together. It's really easy that first round to have it all connected, and you can really see like where everything's hitting. So that's how I do it. And I'm not afraid of sweaters like this, but yeah, I do understand why people are like kind of hesitant sometimes to do a bottom up pattern, because it makes sense. It's just, and it's kind of awkward not having it all in one piece. So this is kind of what we're looking at before we get too far into it. And then I just can't wait to keep going. I can't wait. The colors are so fun. And I'm doing, again, these little halvesies rows where I kind of stick a little triangle of color in there and keep going with the other color. And then, you know, kind of finish it off with the next color on top. And these are really loose because I haven't pulled the ends inside yet. But what a fun experimental, like, go with the flow project. And yeah, this is called the Inner Child Sweater. I think this is from her newest book. I think it's this one. because I've been looking at all of them, and this sweater is kind of a combination of all her tips and tricks and patterns. And her patterns are very like, you can kind of adapt everything and change it to whatever you're doing. And so I've kind of just been winging it. And I think that's the spirit of these books anyway. But yeah, it's called The Inner Child Sweater, which is like embracing like the no rules thing and being a kid and coloring or painting and just picking colors that you love and putting, you know, wild things together to make something beautiful. And it's working and it's giving me life and it feels so good and so bright and colorful. And I feel like I need that right now. I clearly wear a lot of black. And so this is so much fun. And I'm just going to go keep knitting and see how far I can get today. But I think this is close to where I'm going to leave off for this week. I'm so sorry I couldn't finish the whole thing in time. It was just too much. And I have some other stuff going on, but that I'm not disappointed with all of this progress in like basically 2 days. So kind of along the same lines of my freeform color knitting, I got a very cool book in the mail this week. This is Erica Tokai's amazing, beautiful patterns. It's a Japanese book, and so I can't read it, but there is charts, and you can always kind of wing it and figure out if you really want to make something, because I'm particularly in love with this mountain sweater in yellow. And there's another really cool cardigan she has on her Instagram that's like a ski sweater. It's like light blue cardigan, skier on the side, but the colors she chooses are so cool, and I'm obsessed with all of her knits. But she does a lot of picture knits that are Intarsha pictures. Like here's the back of a cat. I'll show you a couple that don't have like the pattern on the page, but yeah, here's like the index alone. So many cool things here. Beautiful charts. Look at this cat. Isn't that incredible? Like, I'm obsessed. So this is just kind of an inspiration book. Her techniques and color work. This is unbelievable. You've probably seen this on the internet somewhere, but this horse, mind-blowingly cool. So anyway, this book is full of this kind of stuff, but I'm really obsessed with this yellow sweater with the mountains. And it looks like there might be, I don't know if it's a fuzzy yarn or different stitches, but there's like little snow on the mountain peaks. And so yeah, anyway, this is just, I'm so inspired lately by all of this. And I just wonder what direction I'm going to go after this, because I still need to design that Rhinebeck sweater. I've had so many different ideas. I'm so like, I think it's too much and I'm overthinking all of it. I just need to like, I don't know. I think I'm going to worry about that after Vogue Knitting Live, like come back refreshed, and I'll be very inspired by everything I see there too. Come home and then maybe start on that. But yeah, right now I want to do all the colors, picture knits, color work, freeform, colorful knitting. I don't know if it's because it's January. I don't know if it's because the news is heavy. I don't know what it is, but I'm all for it, and it seems like a good idea. That is all I have for this week. Thank you so much for hanging out here with me once again. Thank you for all your awesome comments. Thanks for spending a little bit of your creative time here with me. And yeah, please like and subscribe. All those little things really do help out my channel. I really appreciate it. And I love all your comments. I am terrible at replying to everybody, but I read them all. And I thank you so much for taking the time to leave a comment and to have discussions in the comment section. So thank you for being here. I upload a new video every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Next week, I will be in New York City at Vogue Knitting Live. I plan to make a little video before I leave. So there will be a video next week. And then when I come back, I will do the Vogue Knitting Live recap and take you everywhere that I go during my New York City weekend. My schedule has gotten more and more packed and busy, which is really exciting and fun. And I actually like wrote out an itinerary last night so I can like make the most of my time, especially since it's cold. I just want to like I want to make the walking distance short if possible. So I was going through the list, like what is near this and where can I eat before this and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I am going to the Mayak premiere, like the kickoff party on Thursday night, just in case you're going to be there. Mayak Thursday night, I think it's at 6:30. Then Vogue Knitting Live stuff Friday. MDK is having a little get together at Connolly's. You have to RSVP, so check that out. Friday night, I'm doing that. And then Saturday is a whole bunch of stuff. Vogue Knitting Live at the Marriott most of the day. And then I'm on a panel at like 5:15 and a little meet and greet at the lounge at 4:30 maybe? 4 something? Oh my gosh, I should look, just hold on. 4 to 4:30, I'll be a little meet and greet, come say hi at the Next Loop Lounge. Then 5:15, I'm on the panel on the main stage, 6th floor. And then Sunday, I fly back. It's such a whirlwind. Every time I do this, I'm like, ooh, I should tack on an extra day. But I'm getting home right before my daughter's birthday, and so I just want to do it this way. And I always come home Sunday, and it's always like too fast because things are still happening and people are still having fun. And I'm like, I gotta go to the airport, bye. So anyway, I hope to see you there. If you're going, come say hi. If you're not going, I will recap the entire experience when I get back. And so stay tuned for that because it's always really fun. This is one of the my favorite videos to make every year. And so I'm really excited to share that. In the meantime, you can go look at my Vogue Knitting Lives of the Past playlist. There's a Vogue Knitting Live New York City playlist on my playlist. And you can go check out things I've done in years past because it is really fun. It's like every year has been different, a different experience, different friends come along for the ride and we have our adventures. And so go check that out. But yeah, please take care this week. I hope you're doing okay. Hang in there. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.